right. Thank you for joining me again. This is part 3 of our 3-part series on basically navigating your own evolution of your soul after quantum energy transformation, QET session with me. So if you're just now tuning in, please go back and watch part 1 and part 2. This is part 3 of that. And I thank you for joining me today. So what this segment is about is mindful manifestation. So I touched on this briefly in part 2. We here on this 3D gangster planet called Earth are in school. This is our training session. This is how we learn how to win or lose the battle in our minds. The mind is what has been manipulated a lot. It's the most manipulated part of our being, of our body. The thing that can't be manipulated is your gut and your heart, in that order. So when you're encountering person, places, or things that make you feel really uneasy, sick, nauseated, a very uneasy feeling, that is your gut. That is your gut telling you this is probably not in your highest and best good, and to rethink your path. Now, a lot of us throughout time have been told, oh, that's just butterflies. Well, there's a difference in butterflies of anxiousness and giddy, excited, big difference in that, and the feeling you get with this impending negative energy that comes from beings that are not in alignment with Source Creator and are not of the light. And we have just been told in our mind, verbally, by other people, manipulating and bullying us into thinking what they want us to think, to ignore those things. And I am here to tell you today that your body is going to give you clues on the direction you should be going in. And it's up to you to recognize them and then course correct. So we manifest our thoughts. Whatever is predominantly taking up residence in your mind is exactly what you're going to have more of in your life. So let me explain that. If you are always worrying about not having enough money and always wondering why you don't have enough money and always saying, I'm never going to have money, I'm never going to be able to make it, I'm never going to be able to pay for that. Okay, so let's just stop right there. Words have power. And so the things that you actually say, you're calling into existence. The more frequency you have, so you've gone through your QET session, your clear channel, your frequency is infinite. Now we're at the point where you have to control your thoughts and your words, because with the higher frequency, you're going to manifest faster. This is where the training is really has to be stepped up a notch. You are officially no longer the person you were yesterday. That's what I like to tell people. We're always evolving, right? But whenever you go through the QET and then your frequency becomes infinite, that trajectory of learning is like a skyrocket. It just shoots up. We have to have the control and we have to have the awareness of what to control in order to manifest the magic and the miracles and the positivity and break free from the negative information loop and that negative timeline that you're so sick to death of. That's exactly why you're here. So you have to change inherently how you perceive and how you process things in your mind. That is where the battle is won or lost, in your mind. That is where your ego is going to come in and try to bully you around, in your mind. That is where your shame, blame, fear, guilt, all that stuff manifests in your mind. Because it's things that we've heard, that we've been told, that we've been bullied into thinking, that we've been abused about, that we've been shamed about. And those are the things that are the key points in the map of your shadow work that you have to navigate to get through to the other side. So if you're always thinking or the negative aspects of finances, or the negative aspects of relationships, or the negative aspects of your job, or the negative aspects of source, that's exactly what you're going to manifest. If you keep thinking about the monsters in your life, they keep coming back and knocking on the door. So I can clear you of negative energy, but you're constantly thinking about them. You're re-inviting them to come back in, attach another negative cord, and siphon off your energy. That is for you to redefine a boundary that is healthy for you and limits what they can do to you. That's how you take your power back. Incremental changes that course correct you back in alignment to source, back in alignment to what's in your highest and best good. And it really helps open the doors to things that were always shut to you before. So as we go through this process, we've learned a lot. The exponential education that you get when you're on this journey is beyond words. And everyone's path is very individual, while the levels that we tend to go through are similar. So one thing that we've learned is not everybody has a soul. I know, right? Not only that, some people that had souls bargained those souls away, or they're organic portals, and so they only have the ability to have a micro soul and their lower chakras, and have no capacity to develop more of a soul, and no capacity to connect to their higher self, and no capacity to connect to source. They're disconnected from source, and that will not change no matter how much you want to will it into existence. So here comes a real trial, right? So let's say you are the light being in your family. You are the one that's in alignment to source. And everybody around you, you have discerned, you have asked your higher self, and you have had confirmed by other people that they are not of the light, not in alignment to source, and of one of many things. They could be, you could be married to an organic portal. You can have siblings that are all witches. You can be surrounded by Freemasons and they use demons all the time. Like, these are real things. These are real things. So now you're at the point where you have to make some decisions. Do you blow your family up? I don't know. That may be exactly what you need. Pivot and walk away from all that. Let them be in their mud and muck together, and you separate yourself from that in the physical, spiritual, and energetic way. That's for you to decide. Is it a situation where you feel like you're going to do the very best you can while you also do the very best for yourself, and you're just going to set up some strict boundaries? Maybe you can do that too. Either way, knowledge is power. So once you determine and you kind of take an inventory, I have a video I did a while back called Take an Inventory of Your Life. When you take inventory of the life that you're currently living, with the people that are currently around you, and the people that you give your energy to, not just your spouse or partner, children, work, job, but also the people on social media that you share time with and you have energy exchanges with. When you determine that they are not in your highest and best good for whatever reason, you then have choices to make. That is where you, as a sovereign being, have the option to cut the attachment to the person, place, or thing that is not in your highest and best good. And by doing so, improve your own soul's sovereignty, evolution, and power. That will get blessings and rewards from Source Creator, your ascendant masters, your angels, and your archangels. Because contrary to what we've been told our whole life, for us to maintain our sovereignty, protect our power and our energy, and do what is in our highest and best good is actually what gets us the pat on the back, so to speak, from Father, Mother, God. They do not want us sacrificing our sovereignty, giving up our power and having carte blanche for any and every being around us to just walk all over us like a doormat. That is actually not in your highest and best good, which I'm sure you know that already. But you feel guilted and shamed and blamed if you're not the open door to everyone to come take. So you have choices to make, and we are in a free will choice society. Universally, we have free will choice over our soul. We have choices on what we're going to do, how far we're going to go, and what protections we're going to put in place while we get there. So knowing who surrounds you helps you make better decisions for your path. Manifesting that highest and best timeline means that you make conscious decisions to choose the highest and best timeline. So if your vision for your life, your higher timeline, is total unity consciousness and service to others, working for the greater good, doing what makes your soul happy, being in alignment to source, all those things that are definitely in alignment to 5D. But everyone that you share time and energy with is not of that same alignment. You're choosing to split that timeline. And that destiny is not predetermined. So you have to make a full commitment to yourself that you want to manifest the higher timeline. So then you make course corrections to clear your path of all the obstacles. And your obstacles are these people that are in your immediate environment with no soul, draining you of your energy, not in your highest and best good. So you clear that path of those obstructions. Sorry to say, but that's what they are. And then you take care of yourself. That is going to be your shadow work. I make it sound easy. It is not easy. I have been there and I have done that. And I still do that. But it is what is best for me. It's what's best for my soul. It's what's best for this mission. It's what's best for the collective. And it's what I'm determined to do. It's what I am committed to do. It's not easy, but it's definitely worth it. So another big obstacle for people is that they come in to schedule their QET session. And we mentioned that the energy clearing will help to rebalance harmony in the physical form, which as a byproduct of that balance helps to alleviate a lot of dis-ease in the body. And so a lot of people come through, and I always to communicate with their higher self on what is highest and best good for them in terms of their existing health issues. Okay. But what I definitely recommend is to no longer think about yourself as a patient, as a sickly person, as someone with disease, as someone who is ill, because words have power. And if you're always thinking about, well, what if I get sick? What happens if I get sick? What happens if you're going to manifest it. And so you have to really believe, not just speak it, but also speak it. Believe that you are now in a healed state, that you have transformed that negative energy to positive energy. And that positive energy will flow and find its way to balance and re-establish the harmony that helps to clear up whatever health issues you may have. Now, is that a magic wand? Absolutely not. Is it different for everyone? Absolutely. But to assist along is you want to keep your thoughts clear. You want to keep your thoughts in a healed state, in a transformed to positive state. Don't dwell on the negative. Don't dwell on the old. Don't dwell on the things that we've cleared you of. Focus forward on the positive. And so you're always wanting to envision your highest and best timeline, whatever it looks like in that moment. And I do this multiple times a day, every single day. And there's always little variances up and better than the last one because I'm evolving, because I'm always making these choices to choose the highest and best timeline. And with each choice we make, we're either going up on a timeline, jumping to the next timeline, or we're going down and jumping down to a lower timeline. So if you choose something that's in your highest and best good, you're going to go to the next highest timeline. If you choose something that's not in your highest and best good, but is a negative energy, it is going to take you to a lower timeline, lower vibration, higher vibration. It's just that simple. So you're literally in charge, and you literally have the power to choose your timeline, to manifest your vision, knowing full well that what is living in your mind all the time needs to also be in alignment with that higher timeline vision. If you're saying, yes, I want to live in a 5D community where we are at one with nature and we honor all of sources, creators, beings, and everyone has abundance and everyone has good food and all these things, right? But in your 3D life, you're not living that, you're not making choices to support that, then your actions are speaking louder than your words, and you will manifest that lower timeline. And then you'll be like, well, but I had a vision of a higher timeline. Yes, but your thoughts and what you're putting your energy into is lower vibration and lower timeline. So again, the battle is won or lost in our mind. So just like having confidence in whatever kind of medical practitioner you go to. If you have zero confidence in them, then chances are they're not going to have a whole lot of positive effect for you because you've already decided that it's going to be negative. Well, it's the same for yourself. You go into a QET session wanting to clear your energy field so that you can take your ascension journey seriously and evolve as a soul and be on the path that Source Creator wanted you to be on. And you go into it thinking that you're still the same person you were beforehand, nothing's better, and thinking about all the monsters and the negative things that we've cleared you from, you're just inviting them to come back, knock on the door, and come back in and live with you again. So you have to win the battle in the mind, because the mind is what's really manipulated. And listen to your gut and listen to your higher self. Your higher self is not your mind. Your higher self is not your brain. Your higher self is a culmination of all of your lives and all of your wisdom through Source. So don't think of yourself as a diseased patient. Don't think of yourself as someone who is weak. Don't think of yourself as someone who needs help to do things all the time. Don't think of yourself as someone who's dependent, but independent. And even if that's not the reality you live in this now moment, it will manifest because that's where you're putting your energy. So you really want to think, feel, live, meditate on the highest timeline that you envision yourself living on. A while ago, like almost 30 years ago, someone told me after my husband died, you just have to choose to be happy. And I thought, okay, but it's really true. I owe that person an apology. When we choose happiness, laughter, bliss, gratitude, love, and to be our authentic selves, we are creating very high vibrational frequencies. We are adding layer upon layer of high vibes to our energy body. So even if you have like very little that you would consider a material in a material world, I started with just being thankful that my eyes opened and I was able to see, that I could put one foot in front of the other, that I had a roof over my head and I had food in the refrigerator. And that gratitude is genuine and that gratitude is authentic. And The love that I developed for myself came slowly, but it was fueled by the love I had for my children and the love I had for Source, and knowing that eventually that cup in myself would be filled. So please reach out to us. We are there to help support your journey. There'll be a link in the description box for Human Disclosures on Telegram. Please come in there. If you don't have Telegram, download it. It's a secure app. It's safe. It's private. And I look forward to helping you along this journey. If you have any questions, please ask them in Telegram versus YouTube, because YouTube is not the nicest of environment. Thank you guys, and I'll see you later.
We can be broken down. Under a microscope, we can be reduced to a set of systems built on tiny cells. We can be broken down. Exercise tears muscles, tests every breath. Opposition challenges our strength, our belief, our desire. And we push back. We use that resistance to build strength. We use it to build stamina. We use it to understand ourselves. We use it to make setbacks our launch pads and obstacles our stepping stones. Ours is a story of recovery, of being broken down to rise up stronger, of turning stress to strength. This is more than a story of fitness. This is the story of life itself. We embrace the breakdown to enhance the buildup. We do it on hillsides, in the pool, and down city streets. We do it through fortitude, through ingenuity, and undeniably through our biology. Our cells are performance structures. While we're talking about our day, our cells are talking to each other, building, renewing, regenerating. At ASEA, this is what we know. This is what we do. So you can maintain the miracle of your body and know what you're made of. We all get broken down, and each of us faces the choice to surrender or rise up stronger.